Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. Oh, hold on. Woo! Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So, walked out this morning, about to turn our tank on, and of course, it's starting to smell. So, one question that we get asked quite often, and we figured we'd shoot a quick little tips and tricks video on it, is how often do you need to change your water in your tank? As you can tell, of course, we're overplaying it a little bit, but you can definitely smell whenever the water is needing to be changed. So we wanted to shoot a quick little video on why you need to change it, when to change it, and of course, how often. So you can kind of come over here and take a look at it. A lot of the times, whenever you've been dipping a lot, you're gonna have all of this extra that's laying on top of the water, all right in here. That's usually not a big deal. Pretty much in the morning, we'll come in, we'll turn it on, we'll filter all this out. Inevitably, as we're dipping and things like that, the PVA and everything, it's all going to go down, get pretty much jumbled up as we're using it all day long. Well, whenever it sits overnight, a lot of that reaches back up to the surface and then stays on the surface. So it's usually not a big deal, but the thing of it is that normally, and this is kind of what I tell a lot of our customers, is that whenever it starts to really emit a big odor, you probably want to start thinking about changing the water. Now, again, we can probably still dip in this for another couple of weeks and it would be perfectly fine. But we want to try to make sure that we keep a good consistency. And of course, with that consistency means changing your water in your tank. So we'll probably shoot another video maybe here in a week or two and show you guys what it takes to clean a tank like that. And you know, every tank is going to be different. Of course, we manufacture our own tanks, as you can tell, Liquid Concepts. With that being said, you know, ours are pretty easy to maintain. They have really low maintenance, everything like that. But you still have to maintain it to get a good machine, to get it to work right, to get it consistently to work for the way that you need it. And so for us, just kind of wanted to shoot a quick little video on what all that entails as far as when you need to change it, things like that. So usually what we try to tell most of our customers is that you want to change your water probably every 2 weeks to a month. Now again, that's going to vary greatly. A lot of that will depend on number one, how many dips are you doing in the tank. If you're using it once every week or something like that, then of course you could probably get by with using your tank for a lot longer term than like what we will whenever we're doing 10 to 100 dips a day easily in the tank. And so somebody like us that's processing a lot more, of course we're going to be going through and cleaning our tank a lot sooner. If you're doing full production and things like that, you know, I know some customers that they literally clean their tank almost every week to every other week, depending on what the production level is in their shop. And they, like I said, they do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, to get the smell and all of that out of the shop. And then also number two, for the consistency that you want in the hydrographics, because inevitably, usually the water is probably the last thing to think about whenever you're trying to diagnose problems and things like that, but it still does play into the part of making the film work correctly, because inevitably it's going to get tons of overspray with the activator. You're going to get tons of the PVA and the inks and everything that's still left in the tank. So that's definitely something that you definitely want to keep in mind whenever you are looking at, you know, the film, and if there's a problem or anything like that. That's always something to just, you know, if you do have a smaller tank, that is something that is good to do just as a good reference to make sure that you have everything as consistent as possible. So another thing to think of is, and I have a lot of customers that do this, is that whenever your tank starts to give out an odor, of course it's normally not really a pleasant odor for sure, But I have had a lot of customers where they've got tons of jobs, they need to rock on as long as possible, and they want to try to keep the water in the tank before they have to take everything down, because of course the downtime, they're not making any money, they're having to clean everything out and then fill it back up and then wait for it to heat up. So inevitably it's, of course, it has to be a scheduled downtime. So a lot of my customers, they will actually put a couple of cups of bleach into the water. That helps with the smell, and that also helps in getting a lot of that stuff back to kind of like a normal normal water that they started with originally. There's also customers out there that will treat this just like a swimming pool. I know some customers that have thrown in chlorine tablets and things like that. Now again, we don't do that. We pretty much just drain it and then fill it back up. We'll clean it, we'll drain it, we'll fill it back up, and we just try to keep on that schedule like that. But there are some of my customers out there that they pretty much treat it like that, and they're able to get longer time periods between doing a complete drain and clean and all of that. So whichever way works best for you, it's strictly up to you on how you want to do that. Of course, if you're going to treat it like a swimming pool, you know, you're going to have to get the length times the width times the height, figure up your square footage or your volume of water, and then figure out how much of the chemicals and all that you need to put in there. Something like that, I would highly recommend testing it out first to make sure that everything works correctly, because of course you definitely don't want to put something in here that could cause a you know, something to go wrong whenever you're dipping. So definitely make sure that you test that before trying to do that, to make sure that everything's going to work correctly. So like I said, for us, it's easy enough just to drain it and then fill it back up, and we try to just schedule that in normally on like the end of the day or a day whenever we're doing all cerakote work and we don't need the tank or something like that. So a lot of the times we can schedule that in, but of course that's something that you're just going to have to kind of work around if you do have a big production day all day long or something like that. So hopefully this has really helped you out. As always, we always love shooting these videos. If you do like the video, definitely give us a big thumbs up. We'd love to have that. And also hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks videos. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and we're making hydrographics great again. We'll see you guys next time.